Hello everyone, this is Rahima Ali. Welcome you all to watch this video regarding EC&I 804 Curriculum Inquiry Assignment Module 3. And my research topic is how might schools and curriculum better serve the education of autistic children? First, we need to know what is autism spectrum disorder. ASD is a child developmental disorder that causes significant challenges in social skills, communication, and behavior in young children, and it can go up to adulthood. The learning, thinking, and problem solving abilities of students with autism can range from gifted to severely challenged. Sometimes we think being autistic could be like always challenging and always impossible to handle, but sometimes it could be gifted too. Thus, some require more help in their daily lives while others need less. An ASD diagnosis now includes several conditions that used to be diagnosed separately, which could be autism, pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, Asperger syndrome. These conditions are now collectively referred to as autism spectrum disorder. And there are some characteristics of this ASD: difficulty with communication and interaction with other people, restricted interests, and repetitive behaviors. This could be like, even I have noticed this in among a couple of my students, like this repetitive behavior and very restricted interests. Symptoms that affect their ability to function in school, work, and other areas of life. This could be a characteristics of this ASD. And this is not just for kids, and this could be happen to adults also, or like whoever is having it from birthday when they're growing up. Obviously, if it's not cured sometimes, or which is not possible sometimes, and they get it in, like we need to diagnose ASD in adults is often more difficult than diagnosing this in when they're child. In adults, some ASD symptoms can overlap with symptoms of other mental health disorders, such as anxiety disorder, attention deficit, hyperactive disorder. Adults who notice signs of ASD should talk with a healthcare provider and ask for a referral for an ASD evaluation. Sometimes I have seen in adults like they don't want to address these problems, but the family members need to help them, right? And the expert will ask about the social interaction and communication challenges, sensory issues, repetitive behaviors, restricted interests. Here are some symptoms of autism that I have mentioned, which I have already told: developmental learning delays, difficulty communicating, difficulty in social situations, attachment to unusual interests, difficulty in understanding emotions, over or under sensitivity to light, sound, touch, or taste, repetitive movements and behaviors, trouble with transitions, recurring sleep problems, insufficient impulse control. And why? You would think like why I have chosen this topic, because I'm from Bangladesh and I think this topic is not taken seriously yet. I have seen students who are struggling because of this problem and they do not have proper teacher. Like proper teacher means like the teacher who have proper training to handle and help these sort of students, in a proper way, so they can be something when they are growing up. So they can learn something from the whichever classes they are in. In Bangladesh, autism spectrum disorder as a neurodevelopmental disability is still seen through the lens of misinformation. People think, oh, this kid has this problem. This is just his behavior. He is maybe rude. He is maybe stubborn. That's it. But no, that is not the main thing. We need to go deep in it and we need to try to help the kid to learn whatever the normal kids are learning. I'm sorry to use the normal word, whatever the other kids are learning, right? However, teachers need to have positive attitudes towards the inclusion of pupils with ASD in order for their inclusion to be successful. According to Ahsan and Bernick in 2007, most of the teachers in regular school in Bangladesh are used to conducting their classes with a homogeneous group of pupils. They suggested that teachers in Bangladesh are not willing to teach special educational needs children together with regular students. In this situation, teachers' attitudes have an impact on classroom activities, which in turn have an effect on the successful implementation of a change in practice. Right? Even I myself have noticed that in one of my school where I was working, there were several students with special needs, and we would just let them sit in the class and we would just ask them to like whatever they feel like doing, because it's not our fault. We were not trained enough, you know. We need special kind of training, and we need to know how to handle this sort of student, how to help them out. And this that is why, like, I always felt guilty in myself, like, why am I not able to help this student? Like, he's so the student I'm talking about, like, so smart, but sometimes he used to be like so difficult to handle. So I used to like have this guilty feeling. And since then, like, it's been almost 10 years since then, this topic was like in my mind. And when I got a chance, I thought I should go for it, to do a bit more research on it. Okay. While searching through articles and journals, I was lucky enough to find this journal, as it has discussed about the mobile technology and how students with various exceptionalities, including disabilities, play important role for technology developers, researchers, and educators. I'm talking about Basha Marino and Rice's journal of special education technology, which they created in 2018. Then started I have also taken help from this article of Siwen Yu, who has mentioned very important methods and collaborative model planning that, if we use it, would bring very positive result. Zuen has developed some practical guidelines for general and special education teachers, which I am looking forward to imply in my paper. Then comes the framework for including students with special educational needs and disabilities, which was created by European Union Council. And though this paper was focused on Republic of Kosovo, but I think this could represent our country too. So when I was studying this, researching this, I have found some similarities there. Parnaf and Erickson has written an excellent journal on the extensive information on universal design for learning focused of inclusive learners, has focused on diversity in higher education, which is a key factor in my paper. Because I also want to focus on the higher education, because I have seen this sort of student, they get help in primary school, but they do not go till higher school. Maybe the parents keep them at home after that. I don't know. I really want to know what happens in higher education and why they are not getting it. You know, that they also deserve it. Phillips and Clark has written one excellent paper, Pathways for Students with Disabilities to Tertiary Education and Employment. This was a project which could also be very helpful for my paper, and where they have identified the high quality transition programs with progression policies provided for people with disabilities in transition to post secondary education. In my last slide, I have mentioned higher education, and this one is about post secondary education, which is also very important because they must have a career too. You know, it is their right. The special kids, it is their right. So we need to know like how we could help them to get it. Then I have focused on this paper also created by Wood, Thompson, Ribafo, which they have discussed about evidence-based practices for students with severe disabilities. There they have innovated a configuration matrix that can guide and help professionals in the development of appropriate evidence-based practice for students with severe disabilities. Then again, for the critical components of successful inclusion of students with severe disability, International Journal of Special Education, Volume 27 in 2012, I have researching this paper and I have examined, I have seen the examines they have created, they have found out it was really good, you know, the critical components of successful inclusion for students with severe disabilities, underlining the critical components which I could use in my paper. Then May and Felsinger They have written about generic considerations of inclusive curriculum design, where they have focused on 12 steps towards embedding inclusive practice with technology as a whole institution culture, and also identified 5 areas of focus which could consider technology that can enhance this inclusion and which I'm definitely going to use in my paper. So that's all. That's I think I'm going what I'm looking actually like I'm thinking to create a paper where I'm going to address the situation in my country, what is happening regarding higher education and post-secondary education for special need children. And I hope I could use these methods and terminology and the matrices, and I would come up with something which could be helpful for the kids in my own country and other countries too. Thank you.